Have you ever gone somewhere you weren't supposed to? Whether you're trespassing or sneaking into a forbidden room, it's all a thrill to imagine. But what if you could take just a peek at these incredible off-limits spaces? Welcome to Inside Discovery. Today we'll be looking at the forbidden, the unexplored, the out-of-bounds wonders that you'll never be able to see in real life. Or will you? We have 10 places today that you'll wish you could check out. You might not be able to visit, but this video can act like a little look into the beyond, sort of. From heavily guarded fortresses to ancient caves, you never know what's waiting beyond a locked door or a fortified barricade. But isn't it nice to dream of it? Make sure you watch all the way to the end, because we have some incredible forbidden locations you won't want to miss. 10. North Sentinel Island, Andaman Islands, India. In the Bay of Bengal, North Sentinel Island sits alone amongst the archipelago. This place is not just off limits for no reason. There's an indigenous community that remains undisturbed, kept from the mainlanders and the potential infectious diseases that they would have no immunity for, protected by an Indian Navy patrol. The islanders, moreover, want to be left alone. They live in voluntary isolation and have defended, often by force, their protected isolation. The government of India has long since stood by, leaving the North Sentinel Island to its own devices. Visitors are not protected if they were to get hurt. This is one place that, while it might be a neat place to explore, you're really better off not. 9. Pravčická Brána Archway, Czechia, Czech Republic. We have a few natural wonders on this list, but not many are quite as pretty as Pravčická Brána. This spectacular landmark is the largest sandstone arches in Europe and would regularly draw crowds until about 1982. Researchers have noted the heavy erosion makes the arch something of a dangerous time bomb. It could collapse without notice and thus has been barred from visitors or tourism. You can still see it from afar, but it's not quite the same now, is it? 8. North Brother Island, New York, United States. One of the most popular abandoned places in the U.S., North Brother Island is located between mainland Bronx and Rikers Island in New York City's East River. It used to be the site of Riverside Hospital for Quarantainable Diseases, the original home of the Typhoid Mary, or the first identified American to carry typhoid fever. Eventually, it became a rehab center for people with various drug addictions. However, the land moved from private to public ownership, becoming a bird sanctuary and remaining uninhabited. There's no telling how haunting it would feel to walk through the halls of the hospital remains. And unless you're a researcher or journalist with permission, you just might never know. 7. Svalbard Global Seed Vault, Spitsbergen Island, Norway. There's no nefarious reason you can't go to the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, you just aren't allowed. This vault in Norway, affectionately nicknamed the Doomsday Vault, is insurance against the loss of crop diversity. As the world's largest backup facility for seeds, meant to be the fail-safe for food supplies in the event of mismanagement, accident, equipment failures, war, funding cuts, disease, sabotage, and natural disasters. While it's not traditionally a place people can go, the Doomsday Vault has been known to open its doors for special guided tours for vetted guests. Given the special cargo they protect inside, can you really blame them for being so cagey? 6. Ise Grand Shrine, Ise, Japan. Japan is well known and famous even for its grand cultural shrines. The Ise Grand Shrine is no exception. Visitors can roam the surrounding forest, including ornamental walkways from the Meiji period. We can only imagine the inside. The temple is rebuilt every 20 years to maintain Shinto traditions from the 8th century, which comes with $1 million price tag. Admittance is limited to members of the royal family and is said to be the holding place of the Sacred Mirror, a mythological mirror said to be given to the first emperor by the gods. It's a lot of cool. In fact, the most expensive temple, yet you can only catch a faraway glimpse. Public access is strictly limited to the view of the thatched roofs of the central structures, largely hidden by tall wooden fences. Maybe in another life. 5. Dulce Base, New Mexico, United States. You probably expected to see the infamous Area 51 on today's list. While that's definitely forbidden for public access, we have another just like it. One that might arguably be cooler, if it even exists. The claim is that a secret, jointly operated human-alien underground facility exists under the Archuleta Mesa outside of Dulce, New Mexico, on the Colorado-New Mexico border. It's just a story for sure, but at one point, people thought Area 51 was a myth too, right? It wouldn't be crazy to think that other high-security facilities exist around the U.S. just like it. Some say Dulce is just a myth to drum up tourism, but that sounds just like what they'd want you to think. As for the reports of alien activity, well, who knows if it's that heavily guarded of a secret. 4. Bhangarh Fort, Rajasthan, India. As the most haunted place in India, this is the ghost hunter's dream. You're more than welcome to visit the Bhangarh Fort while the sun is up and daylight is burning, and it is quite an architectural marvel if you get the chance. However, the ban is strict from sunset to sunrise. No one can go in or come out. This 16th century fort is full of haunting legends and curses and ghosts you won't be able to sleep after hearing. What happens if you visit the fort after dark and trespass on the haunted grounds? No one knows. According to locals, anyone who's tried to break the rules has mysteriously gone missing. We may never know whether it's a coincidence, just a myth, or something more supernatural. 3. Lascaux Caves, France. Despite being a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this is the rare one you can't visit. The Lascaux Caves in France are not open to the public because of the cultural and historical significance that lies within. The cave art is thought to date back to nearly 17,000 years ago. No one since 1963 has been allowed to enter the caves because when they did have tourists, they had a lot, which caused a series of fungal invasions due to the influx. Human presence, as it seems, is largely destructive to the caves. If you want to see the art, you're more than welcome to see the replicas that were built for public view, but no more than that. 2. Poveglia, Venice, Italy. Between Venice and Lido, there's a small island named Poveglia, somewhere you can never go. Once upon a time, the land was host to swaths of plague victims, with more than 160,000 infected people living out their final days and hours together. Some reports claim that nearly 50% of the island's soil still contains human ash remains after bodies were burnt due to the sheer number. Later, the island would go on to house a psychiatric hospital known best, or worst, for the inhumane treatment of its asylum patients. It's long rumored to be haunted by patients and victims of the past, with various people trespassing on the forbidden island to see for themselves. If anywhere was haunted, this would definitely be the place. It's hard to tell where the line between truth and myth lies. And well, do you really want to be the one to find out? Maybe this is one stone better left unturned. We just have one last one on today's list. This forbidden entry is full of wonder and opportunity, if we all play our cards right. But before then, if you liked today's video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you think this is interesting, let us know what you want to see, and you might see your ideas come to life. You won't want to miss what we have in store, that's a promise. 1. Surtsey, Iceland. The last entry is a little different and less dangerous. Surtsey Island is one of the youngest islands in the world. It was formed during a volcanic eruption that lasted 4 years between 1963 and 1967, which sounds really cool, but you can't go there. This 60-year-old island is quarantined from human access for purely scientific purposes. No visitors are permitted because the desire is to research and understand how ecosystems might form with absolutely no human contact. No human contact is key. If it is disturbed or changed in any way, we might not be able to get that control back, and the whole project will be a wash. So, trespass elsewhere if you're really itching for a thrill. Surtsey is way too important to mess with. This has been Inside Discovery. We'll see you next time.